Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Hamilton County Board of Commission meeting, May 11th, 2023. We have a packed house. We're so happy to see everyone. We would ask you if you could make sure that your phone is on silent. We really appreciate that. And we will start with the introductions on the dais.
Christy Rischel, Assistant Clerk.
Leslie Hervey, Clerk to the Board.
Stephanie Summerall Dumas, Commissioner.
Good afternoon. I'm County Commissioner Denise Treehouse.
Jeff Aludo, County Administrator.
Charlie Annis, Prosecutor's Office.
And I'm Hamilton County Commission Board President Alicia Reese. And I want to apologize in advance. I won't be doing too much smiling as I always do, but have some dental work, so just bear with me if you don't see me smiling as I normally do. We always start our meeting with silent prayer. I want to ask that we keep in our prayers Miss Virginia Moore, who was Kentucky Governor Beshear's sign language interpreter. I want to thank Vicki Emerson, our sign language interpreter here, for bringing it to our attention. She passed away suddenly, and we're thinking that Kentucky may have been the first state to have interpreters, and then I think we were second in terms of our county. But she was a trailblazer, and just a shame that she had passed away and done so much for the interpreter community. So ask to keep her and her family in our prayers. Amen. Now we'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous session.
Second?
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Commissioner Summerall Dumas.
Yes.
We have quite a few proclamation presentations, and we'll go with them in the order that they are listed on the agenda. We have a proclamation before us honoring one of our own employees, and let me make sure I have the proclamation reading in front of me. This proclamation is honoring the hard work and career of Aisha Howard. Now, I told you I had dental work now. Don't get me I can't, I'm in pain. This is emotional for us on this board. Okay. Proclamation recognizing Aisha Howard for her contributions to Hamilton County. Whereas Aisha Howard has served her community as a distinguished leader and exceptional employee of Hamilton County for 31 years. She has always been dedicated, dependable, passionate, tenacious, and compassionate.
And whereas Aisha Howard began her career in March of 1992 at Hamilton County Jobs and Family Services as an eligibility technician in the Family and Adult Assistance Division and served in many capacities, including Social Services Case Manager for Workforce Development, the Pregnant and Parenting Teen Program, and as a Family Services caseworker in Children's Services. And whereas Aisha was quickly recognized as a leader and progressed through the ranks, holding many leadership roles, including those in the Integrated Strategic Business Unit, Child Support Services, Family and Children's Services, and Adoption and Permanency Divisions.
And whereas Aisha Howard led critical and progressive projects throughout her career at Job and Family Services, including the development of the Child Support Call Center, the facilitation of the healthcare transition from Medicaid to managed care organizations for thousands of children in Hamilton County custody, and the execution of the Permanency Roundtable Project, which focus on expediting the reunification of children to their families, identifying alternative permanent homes, and ensuring connections for hundreds of children who had lingered in the custody of the child welfare system. And whereas after 29 years of dedicated service to Hamilton County Job and Family Services, Aisha Howard joined Hamilton County Administration in the Economic Inclusion and Equity Department as a Community Engagement Administrator.
Whereas Aisha Howard, in her final 2 years of service to Hamilton County, has worked hard to implement the 513 Relief Bus, which has provided community-based economic relief, medical screenings, and social services to thousands of underserved Hamilton County residents. I'm going to put in there, almost 10,000 people have been serviced. Thank you. Whereas Aisha Howard's legacy as a Hamilton County employee has been to be a voice for others, demonstrating a courageous willingness to speak truth to power, to advocate for and advance equity, inclusion, fairness, support, and opportunities in services and treatment for citizens and employees in Hamilton County, particularly those who are vulnerable, underserved, and overlooked. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County, Ohio, do hereby recognize May 11th, 2023 as Aisha Howard Day in all of Hamilton County. And Aisha, as you go to the podium, I'm gonna open it up for our commissioners to add to this proclamation. Vice President Driehaus.
Thank you. What an honor, what a pleasure, what a delight to celebrate you today. My office is just down the hall, but I said to my staff, I got to get in that room. Something's going on in the room, and it's you. It's a celebration of Aisha Howard today. We know you best from your time here at the county administration for the last couple of years. The project that you were given to create something new that we had never done before, with all kinds of challenges and expenses, and just new partnerships and all of the things that had to be put together to make the 513 bus a success. And the success that it is today is a credit to you and your team. You took it, you ran with it, you made sure everybody had access to the services in that bus, and you made sure all the right partners are on that bus to serve this community. So what a legacy for you to leave behind here at the county that will live on after you have left us. But really, it's been such a pleasure and such a joy, really, to have you on board, Aisha. You've just done really spectacular work. Thank you.
Commissioner Dumas.
Madam Chair, Aisha met me as soon as I got started here as county commissioner. I say, Aisha P. Howard. I don't know if you have a middle initial or not, but perseverance. I mean, against all odds, whatever, you never gave up. You stood strong, and you made a difference in this county and the lives of so many residents. So thank you so much.
Miss Aisha Howard. I wanted to add a line, whereas she's not allowed to leave. But the legal said we couldn't do that. There was nothing, I was trying to find something in the Ohio Revised Code that makes you have to stay. We couldn't find it. But I do want to highlight, Aisha, she's a product of the public schools, product of our community. And I do just really want to thank you, because I just got here. We were in the middle of this COVID. Our office building was closed down. And at the time I had this, what was then thought as a crazy idea, this 513 relief bus. And when the administrator said, I got somebody for you that can work on all the details, because I'd given him a deadline. He couldn't believe it. Said, I need it up by March. We just introduced it in February. And I just feel like we've been on this journey together. I hate to see you go, because now we got a brand new bus. It's beautiful. It's helping people. It's going to change the way we do. It is changing the way we do business in Hamilton County. And you and I have a lot of stories. We talk about that. I said, man, we should have videoed these stories. We have a lot of stories. I remember one, you said, they want you in Cleves. I said, are you sure? Aisha, we going out to Cleves? You sure? She said, yeah, they want you out there. I drove on out there because Aisha said it was okay. But we got out there, people were hugging us and happy to see us. I remember doing the vaccination. We were at the place next to Popeye's Chicken out in Forest Park. And I remember I said, I gotta go use the restroom. Next thing I know, Aisha, I got everybody out. The line was around the building. Everyone had left working, and they were on the bus getting vaccinated. I said, Aisha, who gonna serve the chicken over there? We done shut down Popeyes. She's like, that's just good. They'll have their vaccination and they'll be fine. So just to have someone that understands, being in government, but also how to navigate and help people is a special kind of skill and a special kind of person. And I just want to personally thank you for being on this journey that will now be a legacy for our county. So I'm upset that you're leaving, but I'll have to live with it. But I'll be happy to know that you'll be somewhere on some beach having a great time. And I'll be calling you. I'm at the bus, Aisha. Talk to them. Put them on speakerphone. Tell them what they need to do. So anyway, we love you. We love what you're doing. I know even the administrator even said, we got to offer her something. Keep her, whatever we can do to keep her. But we understand it's your time to enjoy your part of your life. So thank you. God bless you. And we would like to turn the floor over to you.
So before I get started, I hope you will oblige me for about 10 minutes or so out of 31 years. Thank you, Madam President Reese, Vice President Treehouse, and Commissioner Summer-Adumas for the proclamation recognizing my 31-year career at Hamilton County. I'm deeply honored and proud to have served the citizens of Hamilton County for 31 years. I feel incredibly fortunate and blessed to have reached retirement, although I've earned the privilege to do so. No career, especially one spanning 31 years, is a solo act. So I like to share the accolades I'm receiving today by acknowledging others who have been a part of my success and journey. Thank you to Agretta Mason. She's a dear friend of mine and sorority sister who's here today, who 31 years ago suggested that I apply to work at what was then Hamilton County Department of Human Services. It was before it became Hamilton County Job and Family Services. I had graduated from college and I didn't have a solid plan, wasn't even sure I wanted to work in my field of study, and Agretta suggested that I apply to work at the Department of Human Services, where she had begun to work. Agretta eventually went on to become a dedicated school teacher, and I stayed and settled into the social service field. I want to thank Agretta, who, unknown to both of us at the time, planted the first seed that led me to my field of purpose and a fulfilling career at Hamilton County. Thank you to the women like Janice Welcher, Barb Grace, Regina Rue, Valerie Harper, Teresa Owens, and so many other seasoned Black women who took me, a 23-year-old woman, under their wings when I first became employed. They showed me the ropes, and they provided me with the encouragement to soar. Some of them didn't promote into leadership positions by choice, but trust me, they embodied leadership. Women like them hold up the foundation of organizations like this one. They loved on me, fussed at me, helped develop and coach women like me, and propelled me forward while they then repeated the same cycle with the next incoming women. I have tried to honor them by doing the same for many other women and men during the course of my career. Thank you to Laura Jollis, a prior JFS Assistant Director, who provided me with my first leadership opportunity. Laura saw something in me early on in my career. She saw my spunk, my ability to lead with compassion and passion, and my determination to advocate for fair treatment for everyone, be it staff or families. I haven't seen or talked to Laura in years, but I'll always be grateful for her, to her, for not attempting to squash the tenacity of a young Black woman, but instead for appreciating and nurturing that tenacity and encouraging me to use it strategically. Thank you to my many JFS colleagues, many whom are here, who I worked alongside at some point during my 29 of the 31 years of my career. Through projects, collaborations, new and rebirthed initiatives, spirited debates, marriages, births of children, deaths of family, clients, and colleagues, divorces, committees, case assessments, consultations, renovations, restructuring, data analysis, terminations, promotions, grievances, new jobs outside of JFS and sometimes back to JFS, layoffs, training, unit meetings, all staff meetings, court hearings, evaluations, and the various locations, including 628 Sycamore and the 9th Street Training Unit location, Gilbert Avenue, 800 Broadway, 237 William Howard Taft, and 222 East Central Parkway. We experienced together, regardless of position, the highs and lows of life and work and career. You all became my family, and I'll forever be grateful for the journey and memories. Thank you to the staff that I managed and led over the years. I may have fallen short sometimes, as we all do, but I've always strived to be a servant leader, valuing your voices and contributions, and demonstrating compassion, empathy, and kindness while we pursued growth, outcomes, and accountability together. I pray that I contributed to your growth and development. Please know that you contributed to mine. In addition to the community that we serve together, you are my daily source of inspiration and motivation. You are the experts who taught me. You provided work on the ground and in the trenches that provided me the foundation that I needed to lead. Thank you to the late Commissioner Todd Portune. Years ago, I gave an impassioned speech to the Board of Commissioners about the disproportionate number of Black children in foster care and some other organizational improvements that I thought deserved consideration. Todd Portune was the first elected official and leader who publicly applauded me for speaking truth to power. I also want to thank Victoria Parks, Todd's chief of staff at the time, who took interest in my work history and passion and persisted in helping me create an opportunity for the voices of Hamilton County families involved in the child welfare system to be heard. Thank you to Robert Bell, the director of the Economic Inclusion and Equity Department within Hamilton County Administration. Robert revived me in my last 2 years of my career when he hired me into the role of Community Engagement Administrator within his department. I want to thank Robert for believing in me, for his wise counsel, for being a gracious coach and collaborator, and for being a champion of and walking firmly in equity and inclusion. The timing of my retirement, while the Economic Inclusion and Equity Department is exploding with progress, is bittersweet. Thank you to the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners, the very powerful group of women leaders who have made history in Hamilton County. President Reese, the timing of you being the visionary and founder of the 513 Relief Bus and then receiving unanimous support from Commissioner Driehaus and Commissioner Summer-Odumas for the initiative, which was days before I was to begin my new role in the Economic Inclusion and Equity Department. It may have been happenstance, but I couldn't be more proud to have spent the last 2 years of my career leading and executing your vision for the project. Your persistence and determination have been appreciated. Vice President Driehaus, your thoughtful feedback and unwavering support of staff has been truly valued. Commissioner Summer Dumas, your spirit of faith and encouragement and your willingness to laugh have been refreshing and helpful. Thank you all again, and I also want to thank the dedicated and amazing staff of your offices for their collaboration and camaraderie. Thank you to Jeff Aludo, the Hamilton County Administrator who assigned me to serve as the point person for the 513 Relief Bus Project. Jeff, you entrusted me with such a significant initiative of the Board of Commissioners in what turned out to be my last assignment, but it was a very meaningful gesture. I know it was a business decision for you, but for me it signified so much more. Thank you for your confidence in me and the autonomy you allowed me. Most of all, thank you for being such a collected leader. I'm happy to have worked with you so closely, and I'm grateful that we had the opportunity to get to know one another. Thank you to the entire county administration family and every county department and community organization, so many to name and too many to name, that I've been able to get to know and work with over the last 2 years of my career. Like my colleagues at JFS, you've also become my family and have enhanced my career remarkably. Your support, friendships, and partnerships have been incredible. Thank you to Terry Jones Morris, Najee Leary, and the entire JFS Community Services team for being my 513 Relief Bus work family in the community. This incredible team of women and men have diligently served thousands of Hamilton County residents in the community during the pandemic and beyond. Together, we've served with smiles, sweat, grit, and grace. We've adjusted and pivoted like no other. Thank you for becoming my family. Thank you to Trevina Adams and Scott Wilson, the 513 Relief Bus Program Manager and Bus Operator, the dynamic duo, who are both incredibly committed, purposeful, and passionate. They are the current faces of the 513 Relief Bus Program and work hard every day to sustain and grow the initiative on behalf of Commissioner Reese and all the commissioners. They want nothing more than to see the community served in the most equitable way possible. Thank you both for allowing me to guide and lead you, some days more intensely than others. I appreciate you both immensely. I also want to thank Trevina for organizing the 31 years and 31 days celebration. Commemorating my retirement. During this time, I've been provided with so many gifts, flowers, cards, visits, kind words, and hugs. I'm deeply honored and grateful to everyone. Thank you to the families of Hamilton County. We talk much about the service we provide to the families of Hamilton County, and often we are provided their gratitude, and some think we even ought to expect it. But instead, I want to thank each and every family I've been able to serve, both indirectly and directly, over the years. We all know that the system of government and social service is not perfect. Sometimes we succeed and sometimes we fail. I am proud of the success stories, and I've mulled over scenarios in which I could have done better, or in which the system could have done better by families. Regardless of which side of the coin you've been on, your lives and circumstances have provided my career purpose, and I hope that I've served honorably. I hope we can all remember to serve with the mindset that we can be, could have been, or have been in vulnerable circumstances like the families we serve. Thank you to my childhood friends, high school friends, some of them who are here. I'm so surprised and honored. And some also prior Hamilton County employees. Those of you who really know me, and many of you do, you know my commitment and passion for my job and career. Thank you all for being here and for your support and encouragement over the years. Last, but certainly not least, I want to thank my family. My mother, Theodora Barge, who is here today. My rock, the woman who is the epitome of strength, unyielding passion, and sacrifice. That's where I get it from. She has been there for me every day of my life, including every step of my career, guiding me and supporting me. Mom, thank you for my life and foundation. I hope I have made you proud. To my sister Jarvis, who is here, my cousin Vincent, who is here, and all of my other family who have provided me so much love and support during my life and career. And finally, my children, Nina, Simone, and Jamal, my greatest gifts in life. Nina is working diligently, just like her mom, and she couldn't be here. Jamal is here. I worked alongside my county colleagues as I carried my children and brought them into this world. My colleagues know how much I adore my children and how proud I am of them. Thank you, Nina and Jamal, for what you sacrificed as my children as I've tended to my career. You've waited patiently as I've worked into the evening on a project or two or three. As I've taken calls while at home to provide consent for medical treatment for a child in foster care. As I provided therapy to or received therapy from a colleague during non-work hours. And as I've cried over a mom losing her children to the custody of the county. And as I've celebrated successes and frustrations. I know you experienced the highs and lows, joys and agonies of my career alongside me. You never complained, and sometimes offered a life perspective that may have grounded me or fed my passion even more. But more recently, you provided me with the encouragement to take care of me. Thank you for your love and support. I hope I can be there for you as you navigate your careers, as you've been there for me as I've navigated mine. Thank you.
Yeah, Aisha, don't go anywhere. Stay right there. We definitely have to open it up for Jeff Aludo, County Administrator. I'm sure you want to say a word.
No, thank you, Madam President. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to take away from the incredibly passionate words that Aisha just gave us. But no, Aisha, you have been an absolute joy to work with. So I can't remember how many years it's been since you came over, several years. But your passion, your enthusiasm, your hardworking nature, it's just been an absolute joy. You talked about a business decision, placing you in charge of the 513 relief program, but it was more than that, because at the end of the day, you became a colleague, but a friend as well. And so I really appreciate everything that you've done. I am thrilled that we could take the last few years of your time here in Hamilton County and allow you the ability to do something that allowed you to spread your wings and take on a challenge that has been just so immensely helpful and impactful to the residents of Hamilton County. I hope you see that as a part of your legacy that has, everyone's path takes a different turn, and your path brought you here, and I'm so glad it did on behalf of the entire organization and the entire community. And Commissioner Reese, I do want to say, and you can ask Aisha, I did try. Okay, I did try. I did try, but look, everyone needs the ability at some point to move on and do things for themselves. And I'm so happy you get the chance to do it, Aisha. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
And Aisha, as you come to get this picture, I want HR to take this picture, as we're going to still use you for recruitment. If you come work for us, you can retire and look this beautiful still, so that we're still going to use you some kind of way. Let's get a photo. Okay, we have to continue work, but I believe the Aisha Howard party is in room 610. So you all can head that way. All right. Okay. We let me let me find my got so emotional. Let me get back to our calendar. Okay, our next proclamation is for National Children's Mental Health Awareness Week, and let's see, who do we have? Um, is Lorna Godfrey here? Oh, there you are. I'm sorry. I apologize. So we have a proclamation. As soon as I find it. Okay, I got it. Okay. Proclamation recognizing National Children's Mental Health Awareness Week in Hamilton County. We have somebody shut the door so we can. Thank you. Whereas addressing the complex mental health needs of children, youth, and families today is fundamental to the future of Hamilton County.
And whereas the need for comprehensive, coordinated mental health services and education for families places upon our community a critical responsibility. And whereas National Children's Mental Health Awareness Week is an annual event, and this week will be celebrated in over 1,100 communities all across America to raise awareness of programs for the mental health needs of youth and young adults to promote positive youth development, recovery, resilience, and to show how youth and adults can thrive in the community.
And whereas Journey to Successful Living, a program of the Hamilton County Mental Health Board and Recovery Board, is effectively caring for the mental health needs of transition age youth, young adults 14 to 21, and their families in our community. And whereas Journey to Successful Living, Hamilton County Mental Health and Recovery Services Board, and the Hamilton County Suicide Prevention Coalition are partnering this year to raise awareness of the mental health needs of children, teens, and adults by promoting the Life is Better with You suicide prevention. Let me add on the last part because it's really important. Life is Better with You Here suicide prevention media campaign. And whereas Hamilton County Suicide Prevention Coalition serves to increase awareness, eliminate stigma, promote suicide prevention as a public health issue, and erase the stigma of mental illness for teens and adults.
Whereas Journey to Successful Living partners with Hamilton County's Jobs and Family Services, Hamilton County Juvenile Court, Hamilton County Developmental Disability Services, Cincinnati Public Schools, provider agencies, families, and youth to coordinate services and support, along with Hamilton County Suicide Prevention Coalition and its coalition members, urging citizens, agencies, and organizations to participate in raising awareness about mental health. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners does hereby recognize May 7th through the 13th, 2023 as National Children's Mental Health Awareness Week. I will open it up to Vice President Driehaus.
Yes, thank you for being here. At a time when we so desperately need to address the mental health issues of children in this community, we are lucky to have the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board there to coordinate with all of the partners, programs new and old, that are addressing this need. This issue first came to my attention in a really significant way on the Commission on Women and Girls, where one of the first girls that we ever had, she was back in 2018, said one of the issues we needed to address as a commission was mental health for teenage girls. And it really took me by surprise in a way. I was like, what, really? And she said, so many people are struggling, and then COVID hit. And so the need is even more acute now than it was back when, she raised it to begin with. So I just can't say how grateful we are to you and your team for helping us address some of these really acute needs in our community. Thank you.
Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. When we present proclamations, it's not a light thing. We're talking about 836,000 people in Hamilton County, and we want all of them to know how important this is. I have over 45 years of experience as a social worker. My focus is mental health, so this is near and dear to my heart. We've made so many great strides in this field, so thank you so much for being here and that we're able to acknowledge the group.
Thank you for being here. Our board has been intentional while we're presenting a proclamation today. We have been steadfast in voting for funding, whether it's ARPA dollars, whether it's supporting the levy that went on the ballot, because we understand that mental health is real. And there are so many levels to mental health. And for the children in a society, for some reason, that's just surrounded by so many pressures, so much negativity. It's just important that we understand that we must continue to focus and that this hits our children and then they grow up to be adults. So, and then getting rid of the stigma to admit that you have an issue. So I just want to thank you for being here, that parents won't be afraid to admit when they see something with their children not feeling bad because they might need some additional help, and understanding that mental health is very real. So thank you so much, and I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thank you. I'm Lenora Godfrey, and I'm from the Hamilton County Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. And I thank you, President Reese, Commissioner Driehaus, and Commissioner Somero Dumas for this proclamation today in observance of Children's National Mental Health Awareness Week. I stand here not only for the board, but I stand here for the provider network community. I stand here in collaboration with the Suicide Prevention Coalition, and I stand here on behalf of families, of which we have a few families here today. And I stand here because the media campaign is very important and dear to our hearts, because life is better with you here. And I think we have someone wearing the t-shirt today. Yes. And I see that we have our green ribbons on. As we in the community observe that the suicide rate, unfortunately, among our youth has increased drastically. And these campaigns are out there making those in our community very aware that this is going on. And the more that we can educate and make folks aware of what's happening in our community, COVID took a big hit on the healthcare, the behavioral health care, and all of our community as a whole. So we stand here today. We thank our provider network. We thank our families who seek the services. We thank you all for the funding and the support and this proclamation today, because it means a lot to the community of Hamilton County. Thank you.
We're going to step over here and take a photo. Okay, next on our agenda, this month is Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Month. And we have some folks that we are acknowledging today. And I would like to say that I wanted to acknowledge Asian Natty. And I'm going to read the proclamation. Whereas Hamilton County Commissioners celebrate and honors the invaluable contributions of AANHPI communities have made to our nation's culture and the arts, law, science, and technology, sports, public service, and so much more. Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders make our community more vibrant through diversity of cultures, languages, and religions. There is no single story of the AANHPI experience, but rather a diversity of contributions that enrich America's culture and society. Whereas Asian Natty is a local organization dedicated to promoting Asian food, restaurants, and culture in the greater Cincinnati area, founded by Koji Sado. Did I say it right? I'm trying to get it right. Okay, this is what I'm gonna be tough. Bao Nguyen. Asian Natty is comprised of a hardworking and motivated board that aspires to bring attention to Asian communities throughout Hamilton County. Asian Natty hosted an Asian Natty Market Night during Blink that attracted over 500,000 people and drew over $300,000 to Asian businesses in Hamilton County. Asian Natty has also hosted Cuisine Week, which increases Asian business sales by 10 to 15%. Asian Natty created an informational website, asiannatty.com, to highlight Asian stories and businesses throughout Hamilton County while showcasing Asian dishes and sharing cultural beliefs, as well as continually using their voice to uplift businesses through their social media, community outreach, and educational campaigns. Whereas Asian Natty supported Matsuda's by raising $42,000 after their shop, Tokyo Foods, was damaged by a tragic shooting in January of 2023. Asian Natty continues to support Asian businesses and communities within Hamilton County and exemplifies community-oriented businesses. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners, Hamilton County, Ohio, do hereby recognize May 12th, 2023 as Asian Natty Day in all of Hamilton County. And I will open it up to you.
Thank you very much, President Reese. Good afternoon. My name is Koji Sato, and I am the co-founder of Asian Natty. We are a brand identity of a nonprofit organization called Asian American Cultural Association of Cincinnati, which is a mouthful. That's why we're called Asian Natty. And this is a group that started the Asian Food Fest that was held at Core Street a few weeks ago. So through the efforts over the years, we've evolved, and now we have a brand that tries to unite all the Asians together. First of all, I'd like to thank the Board of County Commissioners. We are very honored and humbled and super excited to be recognized for this proclamation, so thank you very much. Just to say a few words about Asian Natty. Our purpose is to make connections by celebrating Asian culture and food across greater Cincinnati. We first started with a website during the height of COVID-19, just so we can help the local Asian businesses, as more than 20 businesses have closed during that time. And also we started to highlight stories in our community so that we can bring the history and the richness of our culture here in Cincinnati. Now, over the years, we've grown to become a symbol that represents the unity of Asians and celebrating the vibrancy of culture through authentic cultural programming and education of Asian traditions within our community. Amongst the many things that we've done in this past 2.5 years, and President Reese, you've already mentioned, we are very especially proud of the Asianati Night Market that we started during Blink that brought over 550,000 visitors to the area. Our Asianati.com business directory that now holds over 300 local Asian businesses so that we can help promote and drive awareness for them. And then most recently, making an impact by helping to raise now $50,000 for Tokyo Foods, the last Japanese grocery store in Cincinnati that suffered an Asian targeted shooting incident earlier this year. All of this could not have been possible without the incredible effort from our volunteer team who are here with me today. So if you guys want to wave, stand up. We grow this community with the people. And I feel so fortunate and grateful to have found such a passionate group that purely just wants to help the community and make this place a better place for all. Now, to commemorate this great, joyous occasion, Asianati style, we've partnered with with 19 bubble tea locations. And yes, there are at least 19 bubble tea locations in Cincinnati. To celebrate May 12th with an Asianati Day themed bubble tea drink. So the proceeds from the drink sales will be donated to the University of Cincinnati Bearcat Pantry, who assists students in an effort to cut down their food costs and promote wellness and independence. We found out that the users of this Bearcat Pantry, over 60% of the users are of Asian descent. That's why this is important to us, and supporting them is very near and dear to our heart. And for today, when you take a break, we've brought some bubble tea for you. One of the best bubble teas called boba cha. So when you have a break, please enjoy some of that. We are even more energized with this to continue growing our Asian community. So thank you again for all your support. And we look forward to making Cincinnati one of the most vibrant Asian communities in the Midwest. Thank you.
I'll open it up if Vice President, did you want to say something, or Commissioner Dumas?
In advance. I'm super excited. And I have been to the Food Fest. It's fantastic. And just in general, I did want to say, we recognize different organizations in different parts of the county, and I am so delighted. We've been doing this for a couple of years, recognizing, let me get it right, the Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander, culture here in Hamilton County, because it is the diversity of everybody in this county that gives up our strength and makes us interesting and lively in a place where people want to come live, work, and play. So thank you for being here, and I'm just very excited that we're doing these recognitions today. Thank you.
Commissioner Dumas?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for all you do, and I thank you for providing awareness to all of us in the community. I have a general statement about the month that we're celebrating. I'll save that for the end.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to say thank you for reaching out to our office and all the work that you're doing. The Asian Festival, which has become a destination. People are looking forward to it all the time. And then being there, what happened with Tokyo, it was just devastating. So what you did there, and at my state of the county, I said one Hamilton County, and that doesn't mean you lose your culture. We want one Hamilton County where you can be your culture, be who you are, and that's what makes us, I think that's what makes us great. So I'm excited to have selected you all to get this recognition today, and looking forward to continue working with you. I do want to say you talked about a lot of small businesses. You'll be happy to know we now have an Office of Small Business, and we have a program now to diversify our businesses to be able to do business with the county. We have a Small Business Day. It's going to be May 22nd, and invite all businesses that you know to meet us at Sharonville Convention Center. I believe we start at 10 o'clock. It's a free event, but just want to have all businesses come out and learn about what we do, and we learn about what you do, and see if there's opportunities to continue to work together. So we're going to come around and take a photo, because I think each group definitely wants their own photo, and then we'll be back with our others.
Thank you.
All right, I'll turn it over to Vice President Driehaus, who will do her proclamation.
Yes, I've got a couple this afternoon. My first one is for Lee Sun. Would you please come forward? The top paragraphs of the proclamation are the same as Commissioner Reese's. I think we all have common ones, so I'm going to skip over those and get straight to you. So whereas Lee Sun was relocated to Cincinnati by P&G in 2000 and has lived in Hamilton County since then and became a naturalized citizen of the United States in 2017. And whereas Lee Sun has played an active leadership role in building strong AAPI communities and developing minority talents. He has also received the most prestigious P&G North American AAPI Award for driving equity and inclusion in the company. And whereas Lee Sun served as chairman from 2007 to 2009 and vice chairman from 2011 to 2012 of the board of the directors of the Greater Cincinnati Chinese Chamber of Commerce, growing members to over 300 local businesses and helping them build connections and cultivate business opportunities between the U.S. and China. And whereas Lee Sun co-founded and is the co-chair of the Greater Cincinnati Chinese Cultural Exchange Association and launched the annual Cincinnati Moon Festival to celebrate the AAPI heritage, foster cross-cultural dialogue, and support diversity and inclusion in the tri-state area. And whereas Lee Sun helped bring the Chinese railway workers photo exhibition to the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library from Stanford University, offering local residents a rare opportunity to learn about Chinese American history. And whereas in 2021, Lee Sun co-led the Anti-Asian Hate Rally with the GCCEA board to provide a platform for Asian Americans to share their voices and their concerns. And whereas Lee Sun has been a standing member of the Sycamore Superintendent Executive Advisory Council since 2011, where he actively advises the superintendent and his leadership team on strategies and development programs for Sycamore schools. And whereas Lee Sun has been an active volunteer for the Greater Cincinnati Chinese School, the Cincinnati Li Shu Sister City Committee, and the Greater Cincinnati Chinese Music Society in various capacities for over 20 years, now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners does recognize Lee Sun for his hard work and outstanding service to Hamilton County, and does hereby proclaim the 15th day of May 2023 as Lee Sun Day in all of Hamilton County. I don't know if you want to kick it around first or.
Yes, I'll kick it around. Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you for all you do. You've done a lot, and I'm sure you have so much more to do. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your partnership of being a bridge builder in our county. And I just want to thank Vice President Driehaus for bringing you forward today to be recognized. And now you have the floor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Madam President, Madam Vice President, and Commissioner. It's such an honor and very, very humbled because this is a big surprise to me. So I didn't prepare a speech. But allow me to share a small story how I ended up here, right? I work for P&G, and when P&G offered me to come to localize in Cincinnati, I asked my friends, because none of my friends in England, by that time, I have lived in London for 10 years. I have 2 kids, my daughter and son, both were born in London. So I told my friends, almost none of them know where Cincinnati is. None. Except one, who happened to be an executive reporter for BBC. So you can imagine by nature of his job, he travels globally. He has met many politicians, businessmen, so on. So he said, "You're going to the right place." I said, "How so?" He said, "Cincinnati, you will learn a lot about real America." Okay, so that was his comment. So we came over here, and the culture shock, frankly, was huge, right? Living in London, multi-international city, you can have the best food from everywhere in the world, right? Diversity is clearly there. Come to Cincinnati, after 8:30, you don't see anybody on the street, right? So the culture shock was very, very, very big. And the first couple years, we kind of struggled a little bit and wondering this would be our home or not. Frankly, diversity wasn't really there that much. With the leadership from all of you, from P&G, from many, many other companies, community leaders, etc., tons of volunteers. I have seen tremendous change in the last 20 years of Hamilton County and the Cincinnati great area to the positive side, honestly. I have to tell the truth. I've been traveling a few times recently to New York City, to Frankfurt, etc. If you ask me to live there, the answer is no. And Cincinnati is the home. Cincinnati is such a sweet home. So that transformation has changed to me and to my family, right? So a little bit about the work we do, and as you mentioned, Denise, that I started to volunteer years ago for the Chinese Chamber of Commerce. The purpose was very simple. It was to help understanding between the community, the business community in Cincinnati area, and with companies in China, to help the companies in Cincinnati to identify opportunities to develop business there, right? Now, in the last several years, I've focused on working with my co-chair, co-founder, Felicity Tao. She was here a little earlier ago, to promote diversity, to promote culture of Asian community. It started very simple from a conversation from Mr. Jason Dong. Some of you may know him. He was working at that time for the Cincinnati Conventions Center, Conventions and Visitors Bureau. And his question was very simple. He said, how can we get some help to help people in Cincinnati to learn more about Asian culture, Asian community? So we started from there. So therefore we formed, in order to help collaboration and organizing events, we formed a voluntary group called the Greater Cincinnati Chinese Culture Exchange Association, GCCCEA. I know there are several C's there. So from there, we started to promote Asian culture, and the annual Hmong Festival is the second largest Asian event after the Asian Food Festival each year. We typically do it in September, October timing. We do sell a little bit food, not too much, but primarily by providing activities for kids, for family, to learn about the Asian culture, like tea surveys, paper cutting, painting, dancing, music, etc. Honestly, without hundreds of volunteers help, without inspirational leaders like you or many inspiration leaders and colleagues in P&G, Coach is my colleague in PNG, we would not have achieved all of this. So overall, I've seen tremendous positive changes for Cincinnati, Hamilton County, and every time I talk to my friends, I welcome them come to work in Cincinnati, live in Hamilton County, right? And I'm very proud of where we are, and of course, there's a lot of work to do. So you can count on me, continue my effort and help to make this county and city a greater place for people to come to work and to live. So thank you all. I'm very honored for this recognition.
Thank you, and we'll come take a photo. All right, Vice President Dreehouse, you have another?
I do. Again, not going to read the top paragraphs, but I'm honoring Mamta Benjgai. There she is. Please come forward. Whereas Mamta serves as the vice chair of the Nepali Language and Arts Center, where she manages strategy and operations for the community center. And whereas through this role, Mamta has led the Nepali Center's dance, karate, and other classes, which are held every weekend for kids and youth. And whereas Mamta serves as an outreach coordinator for Project Hope, helping our people through empowerment, and also serves as a youth coordinator for the Association of Nepali and Bhutanese in America. And whereas Mamta is a graduate of Miami University as an educator in our community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners recognizes Mamta for her hard work and commitment to the residents of Hamilton County, and does hereby proclaim the 16th day of 2023 of May as Mamta Benjgai Day in all of Hamilton County.
Commissioner Dumas, you want to add anything?
I would only add, thank you for providing the awareness that we need to better know each other and to work together. So thank you.
Just want to say thank you for all the work that you do. I will turn the floor over to you if you'd like to say something.
I did not prepare any speech. I didn't know I had to talk, and I thought about asking ChatGPT, but then I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and see. But I truly am very honored to be here and to be given this recognition. It not only acknowledges my work, but it recognizes my Bhutanese community, which I'm pretty sure you guys do not know about. But we resettled here about 15 years ago. My parents are refugees from Bhutan and stayed in Nepal for 18 years, and I was born in the refugee camp. So when I came here, they were not a citizen. They did not belong to any country. I did not belong to any country. So my parents came here with the hope of making our lives better. And then today, being here, being a citizens of the United States and getting this recognition from the Hamilton County truly means so much to me and my parents and like everyone in my community. So thank you guys so much for that. And we make up about 10,000 of the Hamilton County population, and I'm working very hard to bring my community out of poverty. I'm a first-generation college student. Most of the people in our community lack so many things. So I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to work on it, and with the help of everyone and like knowing that we exist, it truly means a lot. So I hope to work together in the future and make this home for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. We're gonna take a photo. Hey, Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I love history, so I'm going to do this a little differently. And I heard earlier that things have changed in this county, and it's because the Asian Americans that are in this county have changed it. They've been change elements, and they're integral in the function and the operation of this county. Culture has not always been important to Hamilton County. Although this is great, and great people have been recognized, and I applaud Robert Bell, who's in charge of diversity and inclusion as it relates to procurement and purchasing. It was not until 223 years later, when I came on board of this commission, that we recognized Black History Month. I could not believe it. And so part of my legacy is the fact that, and my heart is full, because we did not have to wait for Asian to come on this board to recognize Asian American Month, that we realize that cultures are important and we can't do it without each other. And so I'm just sitting here just in awe of where we've come in the last four years, and just really excited about our board realizing, in addition, that this is something we needed to do. We don't live in isolation. And so I'm just really happy about where we are right now. With that being said, I'm going to read my proclamation, and I know I'm going to mess up the name. Khalid, would you like to come up? And I'm not going to read it all, but whereas Khalid Shamo, that's okay, you can tell me, yeah, okay, is a Palestinian American transit professional with more than 28 years of experience in public transit planning, advanced data collection and analysis, strategic planning, transit operations, ITS technology, and transit facilities design and construction. And whereas Mr. Shama has extensive experience in both the public and private sectors, he currently serves as Chief Strategic Planning, Development, and Innovative Officer at the Southwest Ohio Regional Transit Authority, known as SORTA, responsible for reinventing Metro, BRT system, Metro Now, and Transit Infrastructure Fund. And whereas he attended the Ohio State University, where he earned a BS in architecture, a master's in city planning, and a master's in transportation engineering. And whereas Mr. Shama is the author of the implosion of public transit and the case for an infinite game. He currently serves on the National Academy's TRAC committee, which advises FTA and Congress on transit technologies and research. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners does hereby recognize and celebrate the contributions of Khalid Shama to Hamilton County and our community. Be it further proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County, Ohio does hereby proclaim the 13th day of May 2023 as Khalid Shama Day in all of Hamilton County. And it's signed by all of us.
Vice President Driehaus, did you want to add?
Thank you for being here. We have interacted before, of course, because of your role on SORTA. I didn't realize your history, and it's interesting to learn, and I'm just very grateful that you chose to be here and to grace us with your intellect and your experience when it comes to all things transportation. So congratulations.
Just want to say thank you for being here, and Commissioner Dumas, thank you for bringing you forward today to be honored. It's a big, great news day week for SORTA coming up. I don't want to steal the thunder, but you're behind the thunder that will be announced this week on some new ways and this whole new, I call it Uber type of on demand, if you will. So we're excited about it, but it was great to honor you today, not just the program, but the man that's behind a lot of the programs. So congratulations, and you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Dumas, Driehaus, and Commissioner Reese as well. And thank you for bestowing this honor on me. I'm truly humbled. I really appreciate that. Perhaps the only greater honor for me is serving this community. And what greater honor is being part of the Metro family, SORTA, where we are really doing everything we can just to serve this community better. We are, as you know, working on reinventing Metro to restructure the entire network. We've added, and I know I'm kind of marketing Metro, but we're redesigning the entire network. We've added new routes. We did 24-hour service on 7 routes, added frequencies, Sunday service, weekend service. And we've only done about 40% of what's coming. So there's a lot more. But in addition to that, we're adding new type of services. You mentioned Metro Now. Yes, the first one will start May 22nd in the Springdale area. The second will follow next month, and then 4 more towards the end of this year, including one in Forest Park. Not to mention the BRT, Bus Rapid Transit Project, which is also going to serve the entire community by providing better service and faster service. Transit Infrastructure Fund is also helping communities across the county. New transit centers are popping up and so on. This what gives us joy is knowing that we're providing all of these services so that people can get to their jobs, medical appointments, schools, visiting friends and family, shopping and entertainment, and so on, but also to attract new businesses to our community. So that's really what gives us joy and gives us the drive to keep going. I would like to end by saying that I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for a few people, starting with the commissioners themselves for your direct and indirect support, especially by appointing the right people to our board who give us guidance. Second, our CEO, Darrell Haley, through his guidance and support on every single day. My colleagues on the executive leadership team, my staff as well, and the rest of SORTA. Last but not least, my wife and daughters, and my wife is here, happen to be in town today. So I really appreciate that. And again, I'm truly humbled by that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Dumas? You have another-
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a little unusual for us. We have a dynamic duo in the house, and I'm going to, but the husband and wife are doing great things, and so I just could feel their spirit when they went past me, their honor, how they just carried themselves. I could feel their success and their prosperity without even knowing them. And so I talked to them, and so that's why they are here today, because, and then we always honor old people. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, but I'm going to read this, and I'm really excited that they accepted this honor. So, whereas Sam Hosh, would you want to come up? And I don't want to mess up the last name, so Hashmi. Oh, that's what I thought. Okay. Whereas Sam Hashmi was born in Youngstown, Ohio, to parents of Pakistani descent, she completed her bachelor's degree at the University of Cincinnati in business administration. She's married to Hamad Siddiqui, and they are proud parents of 3 children. And Sam Hashi joined the Workforce Innovation Center in 2022 as a business development senior manager for the Workforce Innovation Center to help more companies benefit from the center's strategic services. And whereas she previously served as senior director, store manager for Macy's for nearly 2 decades. During her tenure, Sam had ever-increasing responsibilities, leading retail store operations, talent development, and ending with the flagship Kenwood store in Ohio. At each location, Sam was successful at growing sales and profitability. She also was highly focused on developing talent for not only her store, but the other organizations as a whole. And whereas Sam's strengths include the ability to focus on the right things, developing great relationships with her team and peers, and an outstanding work ethic, perhaps Sam's latest strength is her ability to partner with her corporate partners to maximize her business. She was not only recognized for her achievements through her many promotions, but also was named to Star Council, an organization reserved for the company's best store managers. The group is instrumental in developing the vision for where the store's organization is heading. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners does hereby recognize and celebrate the contributions of Sam Hashmi to Hamilton County and our community. Be it further proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County, Ohio, does hereby proclaim the 17th day of May 2023 as Sam Hashmi Day in all of Hamilton County.
Vice President Driehaus?
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad to meet you, and congratulations on the honor.
I join with her on congratulations and thank you for all that you have done here in Hamilton County. So the floor is yours.
Awesome. I'll try not to take too long. But thank you. As an American-born Pakistani woman, it is a great honor to be recognized during AANHPI month. I am very proud to have contributed to the growth and development of our community, as well as being a proud Bearcat alumni. Furthermore, it excites me that my son is now attending the University of Cincinnati. As a mother of 2 daughters and 1 son who call Cincinnati and Hamilton County their home, I strive to be the best role model for them. My father taught me when I was very young that I could do whatever I wanted and to never give up. It's important to empower women professionals and encourage them to keep reaching for the stars. My children have watched me progress throughout my career with Macy's, relocating across the Midwest for over 2 decades, but we always knew that we would eventually come back home to Cincinnati. Today, as a Senior Manager of Business Development for Workforce Innovation at the Cincinnati Regional Chamber, I'm excited to support our region's talent to thrive and work with our region's employers to promote inclusive practices. We need to create more opportunities for women of all backgrounds to succeed and be recognized for their hard work and accomplishments. I hope my recognition today inspires other young women from similar backgrounds to never give up on their dreams. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to my husband, whose dedication and support have enabled me to pursue my career goals. He has been an unwavering force in our family's life, and I am truly grateful for his love and commitment to us. I want to thank the Board of County Commissioners for your commitment to diversity and inclusion in our community. By recognizing the contributions of Asian Americans and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders, you are sending a powerful message of support to these communities. I look forward to continuing.
All right, Commissioner Dumas, you have another one?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ahmad, would you like to come up to the podium? And remember, your day is the 17th, so don't let him convince you anything other than that. Okay. And Siddiqui, okay. Whereas Hamad Siddiqui grew up between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia and was fortunate enough to travel the world extensively in his formative years due to his father's career as a diplomat. This experience gave him a perspective of the unique differences and opportunities each of us have. And whereas he is married to Sam, and they are proud parents of 3 children, he came to the United States as an international student at the University of Cincinnati in 1999 and fell in love with this city. Whereas he has been employed with PNC for the last 17 years and currently serves as a vice president of community development banking for Southern Ohio and Northern Kentucky, working on PNC's CRA commitments and responsibilities. Whereas he currently serves on boards and various committees with nonprofit organizations like Cincinnati Youth Collaborative, Santa Maria Community Services, Found Village, Local Initiative Support Corporation, and Working in Neighborhoods. And whereas Hamad has a passion for community service and teaching financial literacy, especially given his own experience as a new arrival in this country. And he teaches a weekly evening class for adults and senior citizens at the North Fairmont Community Center in the city's Beekman Avenue corridor. Now, therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of the County Commissioners does hereby recognize and celebrate the contributions of Hamad Siddiqui to Hamilton County and our community. Be it further proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County does hereby proclaim the 18th day of May 2023 as Hamad Siddiqui Day.
Vice President Driehaus.
Well, I just want to thank you for your work, especially in the communities that they're mentioned. I don't know how you're going to keep up the energy for the 2 days in your house, but it's going to be an exciting time for your family. So congratulations. Thanks for what you do.
I just want to join in what she said in terms of the work that you're doing in the communities, particularly those vulnerable communities. So thank you so much for giving back. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Just like to express my gratitude to the entire board, commissioners, especially Commissioner Summer Dumas, for the chance meeting we had and, resulted in this amazing honor. Madam President Reese, kind of getting used to getting awards from you. I don't know if you recall, a couple of months ago, you gave us the Workforce Innovation Award that I accepted on behalf of my employer, so get used to this. And as an Asian American, as and a proud resident of this wonderful city, for the last 25 years, I'm just grateful to be part of this community, this vibrant, inclusive community that we call home. What we have in Cincinnati, I feel, is very special. My wife, who was here, always a tough act to follow, mentioned we roamed around a lot in the Midwest through our respective jobs, but we always knew we wanted to come home to Cincinnati. And there's a reason for that. The sense of belonging that we have here is not coincidental. It's because of this community. It's because of the civic leadership that we have in this community, which it says a lot. It says a lot for why when we come to this country as immigrants, sometimes fleeing not so positive environments and atmospheres, why we decide to stay here. It's because of the leadership, it's because of the communities, it's because of just everything that we provide for new arrivals in this city. So as I mentioned, it's special to be here. I'd be very remiss if I didn't mention my wife, Sam, mention that she's a tough act to follow and has always been the 23 years that we've been married. So I'd like to thank her for her support every day. My children, who daily inspire me to want to be a better version of myself. And can't be prouder of my son, who's now following in both our footsteps as a proud Bearcat, and my daughters, will grow up in this amazing community and be able to see leadership like we see here today, and their own mother, and all the wonderful women that we have in this community who are doing so much every day to make our lives better. And of course, thank you to my employer, PNC, for the last 17 years that they've allowed me to have the platform to do what I love to do. And when you love what you do, it's not work. And that's what I'm very fortunate to be in this position, working with our community investment responsibilities, ensuring that we are funding programs that are helping employment, helping affordable housing, social services. When I came to this country, the sight of an ATM would put me into a cold sweat. So it's kind of ironic that I'm in finance. And I was too proud to ask for help. And I never wanted another person to ever feel the same way I did when I first came here. So part of the financial literacy series that I teach every week is part of that. And historically unbanked communities, they don't have to be international communities. They don't have to be fresh off the boat. I mean, these are folks that were born and raised in the United States who are historically unbanked. So there's a lot of work to be done by us, for us. And I'm grateful to be part of the solution. So thank you for this wonderful honor. Very humbled.
Yeah. Okay. We have some outstanding awards and recognition. I'm going to ask my colleagues, before we go to if we can hold our comments to the end. We have a public hearing that was due at 1:15. Running a little bit behind. So I would ask us to go into public hearing, Community Development 2023 Annual Action Plan. Is anyone here to? Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, President Reese, Vice President Driehaus, and Commissioner Summerall Dumas. This is the second public hearing for the 2023 Annual Action Plan. And so I would like if the commissioners can open up the public hearing.
All right, it's open. Is anyone here to speak on the public hearing? Going once? You're here for the public hearing, or are you here for something else? Public hearing, okay. Mr. William Jackson, you have the floor for 2 minutes.
Thank you for the floor, as usual. We have a habit of this community in Cincinnati. We're very closeted. We do a lot of things that are going on to present a smiling face, as people do, and at the same time, we're saving face and things that we know are happening, but we don't want to go against our people we consider our brothers and sisters, or whoever it may be. And from where I come from, the stuff that people are concealing right now, we cannot continue to conceal in our society and continue to progress and pretend we don't have a problem. And I have a pass-through LTD that I'm forming to go ahead with a proposal with the county of a lawsuit that I am going to continue against many people that are covering many things up, that they pretend they wouldn't do such a thing, with a guy that even comes in town and takes pictures on the field with David Bell, but he's a Ponzi scheme owner. That his name is Michael Alexa. His dad's he's a son of an FBI agent. And it's unacceptable that what Aaron Boone knows we've had a problem with as a manager of New York for a long time, which they have problems of their own. He knows we've had these, what causes a lot of this stuff too, and it's what the secrets we have behind people's backs, that the lies of judges and restraining orders are going on that are in front of the Ohio Supreme Court, starting with a missing person that was murdered in the Asian community of a group that we met a lot of each other, and now we no longer speak, and I don't even think it's a group anymore. And we have people that Procter & Gamble is a corporation. I worked in the service industry most of my life, and just the closeted secrets of the abuse of that company with stuff that even Alan kind of talks about tongue-in-cheek, and I've told some judges about what goes on. We should not have these secrets, and I'm going to continue with lawsuits and proposals to move forward within this city without the backstabbing and try to help some of these problems go on.
Okay. Our public hearing is concerning Community Development Annual Action Plan that was put forward for 2023. Anyone else want to speak on that particular subject? That subject only. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Driehaus.
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
There is a resolution on today's consent agenda for the board's approval of the 2023 Annual Action Plan, and also to authorize and direct the county administrator to initiate and implement other activities, including execution of the requisite funding approval, grant agreement, and other actions, and an appropriate to obtaining the grant and administering the CDBG, home, and ESG programs.
Okay. Mr. Ludo.
Madam President, so we can take that with the consent agenda. You can advance it now just to approve it with the public hearing. It's at your discretion.
What item?
It is the last item on the consent, is item 20 on the consent agenda.
Okay. I move to approve item number 20.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Oh,
That might be out of order, but I was just wondering what the timeline was to pass this, because, you know, we got it on the agenda before we even knew if anybody had comments. Nobody had comments, but is there a timeline on when this has to be passed?
Well, the plan has to be submitted to HUD on May the 18th
Okay.
for their review. Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yes.
thank you. And I think we had this before us.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're in line. Okay, let's pass. Did we, Madam Clerk, did we do it right?
No, you finished.
We're done. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, I want to go to comments by the commissioners. Vice President Dreehouse, public comments. We took his public comment already.
Yeah, I'm going to be very brief. So just a couple of things. I participated in the Iron Worker competition. These are folks that I believe are getting ready to work on the Brent Spence Bridge. So it was very exciting. A lot of young people from all over Kentucky and Ohio participating. So I was glad to be witness to their skills. I also participated in the Flying Pig. I did not run the whole marathon. I was in a relay, but I did want to congratulate the organizers. It was very challenging this year, the most challenging I've ever seen. But the whole weekend was a huge celebration of all things running and flying. Lots of people came in from all over the state and really all over the country. So I wanted to shout that out. And then also, a couple of us participated in the African American Engagement Work Group. It's a subset of the Hamilton County Addiction Response Coalition. And we got to hear about what's going on in the Black churches related to addiction and how they are doing outreach and providing resources to their congregations. So a big shout out to them, and I look forward to continuing to work with that organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few things. Since we last met, I met with Gregory Johnson, who's the director of Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing. He gave some updates on, excuse me, where they're building projects. They have projects listed all the way up to 2026, mixed development projects. And I just want to make sure that the county is working closely with CMHA, because they are looking at affordable housing. They're not only looking at it, they're being about it, and they're developing, and they're moving quickly but strategically. And I don't know really what our partnership is with them, but it needs to be a greater partnership, in my opinion. I attended the Marion and Donald Spencer Spirit of America Awards last evening, and it was just an awesome time to hear the different videos as it relates to her. If you didn't know her, you left there knowing her and what a great woman, not only her, but her husband was during the difficult times. I also attended the Workforce Council of Southwest Ohio SWORWIB meeting today. They have lots of programs going on for youth, adults, seniors in the community. Their board is about 53 people, and they introduced a resolution to try to cut it down to maybe 28 people on the board, because you can understand how difficult it would be when you're trying to get a quorum. But also, they don't want to eliminate any entities that could be impactful to the county. And also, they had JAG participants, which are young men who are in a junior achievement program, and they had won awards in public speaking, and they presented just a short abbreviated version of their speech, and they were awesome. I also wanted to mention that the Inspire Initiative was launched on Tuesday. The Inspire Initiative is for the purpose of those who have groups, events, activities within the community, and you're having difficulty maybe buying uniforms or paying registration fees. But it's open, and look on our website if you would like to apply. I would also ask if Robert Bell, who is supervising our coordinator for that initiative, if they can be placed on a staff meeting upcoming to talk about the Inspire Initiative. And I thank Bridget for the marketing that she's done. And also there's another gentleman who does our IT. I can't think his name. Kim's not Rob. It's a J name. But anyway, I thank you, but I'll have it the next time. But he helped with the marketing and the flyers and stuff. So anyway, thank you for all you do. Somebody saying something? Yeah, I knew it was a tinker. So, yeah, thank you. So, thank you, appreciate it. Our small event grant that we approved at our budgeting time of $250,000 for small events. We had looked at the list of those that were approved, and administration is looking and thinking maybe we can approve maybe 2 to 3 more small event grants. So just listen and wait and see. Administration may be contacting you as it relates to that. And that will in my report.
Thank you. Want to go over a couple of things. I was happy to attend the City Hall reunion that was put together by Councilwoman Liz Keating. It was great to see a lot of people that worked at City Hall as well as various administrations, but it was for a great cause, raising funding for Cincinnati Recreation Commission Foundation. So I really enjoyed that. Also had a chance to attend the 513 relief bus at the Cincy Cinco, which was the Cinco de Mayo celebration on Fountain Square, and really had a diverse group of folks that came in. I'm very proud that our 513 relief bus is bilingual, so I was able to reach out to a new community, a different community on that day. I want to thank once again Cincinnati State Technical and Community College for asking me to be their commencement speaker, and really enjoyed that, seeing all of the graduates of Cincinnati State, and especially in a time when the economy and the world is changing. Going to Cincinnati State allows you to be flexible and nimble and be able to change with the times. And so I was happy to give the commencement speech with the theme of you have the solution. So very excited about that. I want to thank them once again. President Posey, thank you so much for inviting me to participate. Also, on the theme of graduation, I want to thank the Butts Family Foundation, Tabitha and Marvin Butts, who stepped up at a time when reports came out that many students at my alma mater, Withrow, as well as other public schools, would be unable to get their degrees because of fees. And that's just a shame. And so they stepped up and collected funding for that, and my understanding was able to pay so that the students can graduate and get their degrees. And of course, I want to thank our outstanding quarterback, Joe Burrow, once again, passing a touchdown through his foundation to make up the amount that was needed to close the gap, so people be able to graduate. I do want to point out and ask the administration to look at our foster kids as well as those in the kinship program, and let's see if any of them are in the gaps. And if they are in the gaps, is it something that we need to look at? Because I don't want any foster kid or someone on the kinship program not be able to graduate, because I just couldn't understand it. They were saying fees for pens and paper and all that, and I thought we were providing pens and paper, but I'll have to work with the school board members. I'm sure they'll be asking those questions, I hope, in the meeting. But if we have any foster kids or kinship kids that have fallen in the gap, maybe they have not. But if they have, I just wanted to put that on the radar. But shout out to the Butts family.
Yeah, and
yes,
Madam, I
Vice
don't mean to
President
interrupt you,
Sherman.
but I did talk to Michael Patton about that, about the foster kids. There were some that had not paid their fees, but JFS covered the cost. And so, but the Butts Foundation filled in the rest of it. But I did want to give a shout out to JFS for covering the foster kids.
Great, thank you for that information, because that was my question about the foster. Did you have a question about this foster care?
No, I was going to make a comment about who also helped with the fees for the school. And I just want to thank Jeff Birding. I called him and asked him about his ability to do that, and he immediately gave money for Withrow, and they are currently looking into Taft High School may have an issue too. So I just wanted to do a shout out for him.
Yes, thank you. Shout out to all of those. I just know the Butts family had put it forward, I guess got to the news, and just like what I love about Hamilton County, everybody got busy. I got to give Lauren Worley a big shout out. We were on the phone 6 in the morning back and forth trying to get this resolved. But hopefully next year, we won't have this problem. I hope that we can work together to have this not be a problem for next year, because we're encouraging young people to graduate. And we don't want them to have costs be the problem. Some people say, well, what about the parents? Well, some people don't have the greatest. We're trying to break the cycle. And so we want to make sure these kids are definitely graduating. So just thank you, everybody that was involved. In addition to that, I want to I also participated in the African American Engagement Workshop at the Talbot House regarding Addiction Response Coalition. And that was great. I was happy to see a lot of pastors involved in it. And then also to find out that we've got some of the Ohio Minority Health grants. And I remember Vice President Treehouse, you might remember we both were up there at Ohio Minority Grants, and we used to try to get the information out to make sure Cincinnati and Hamilton County got their share. It was great to know that they had applied and they're ready to go with that. In addition, I want to, this week, my understanding is Employee Appreciation Week, and I want to give a special thanks to our HR department for providing lunch and coordinating celebratory activities this week. We've got the greatest employees, and I want to thank HR for making sure they acknowledge them during the Employee Appreciation Week. We must be appreciative of employees, especially in these days and times. So thank you so much for that. The 513 relief bus schedule Friday, this Friday, they'll be at the Cincinnati Public Library downtown on Vine Street. Tuesday, they'll be in Mount Healthy at the Clover Nook Apartments. And Thursday, they'll be at the Lincoln Heights Baptist Church on Wayne Avenue. So I wanted to acknowledge that. And then lastly, for announcement purposes, I'm gonna say it again, because I want any small business to wait till after Small Business Day and say, I didn't know, how did y'all get the information out? We have a lot of people, of course, 800 people that registered, but I just want to make sure everyone has an opportunity. Small Business Day, first time we've ever done this, will be May 22nd and 10 to 2 p.m. at the Sharonville Convention Center. As I indicated in my State of the County, one of the goals is to make us number one for small businesses. Small businesses are the heartbeat of the future, and we want to make sure that Hamilton County is number one. So we're happy about that, and then you'll be able to meet our director of our new Office of Small Business. Lastly, I'd like to introduce Deontay Morris, who now has officially started as my intern as of today, if he will stand up. He's at Liberty University. He's at Liberty University, and he's studying public administration. So welcome, and we look forward to having you on board. Okay, that's all I have, so Mr. Jeff Aludo.
Thank you, Madam President. One quick comment, just to echo your comment about wishing all employees of the county a happy Public Service Employee Recognition Week. Thanks, no matter what it is you do for Hamilton County, how long you've been here, if you've been here one day or if you're leaving soon like Ms. Howard is. Thanks to everyone for everything that they are doing and have done. I do have 3 by-leave items on your agenda. The first is a resolution, by-leave 1 is a resolution updating the membership and clarifying terms for the Oral Health Coalition of Hamilton County. This appoints new members and allows the organizational reps to appoint designees on that committee or coalition, and also appoints 3 individual dentists as members of the coalition. The administration recommends approval.
After coming from the dentist, absolutely. I move to approve by-leave number 1.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners. Item number 2, by-leave 2 on your agenda is a resolution determining that county-owned property on East Miami River Road is no longer needed for public use, and authorizing the Community Improvement Corporation of Greater Cincinnati as our agent to enter into a purchase agreement. So a little bit of dialogue around this. This relates to certain land that's owned by the county. It's roughly 35.2 acres on East Miami River Road out in Colerain Township of Hamilton County, and indicating that it is not needed for a public purpose. It's further authorizing the Community Improvement Corporation as our agent to enter into a purchase and sale agreement with Clipper Industrial Labs for the sale of and purchase of that property. As the board knows, Clipper is a longtime Hamilton County, Colerain Township manufacturing firm. They employ roughly 225 individuals in the region. They're looking to retain those employees, most of those employees here in Colerain Township and in Hamilton County, consolidate onto this site and expand through a new facility on the site, and also add jobs. So this agreement allows us to execute that progress towards that goal with the Community Improvement Corporation, which under the Ohio Revised Code is county's tools for entering into real estate agreements in a way that facilitates community and economic development. So the administration recommends approval. I know the board's been briefed on this. I do understand that Rob Clippard is here in the audience today, as well as Dave Miller from Colerain Township. So I offer that for your consideration, commissioners, as they may wish to provide a comment on this particular item.
Okay. Did you want to give a comment? Come on up.
Sure, I'll just make a brief comment to say that my family's heart is in Colerain, and it's an exciting opportunity to remain in Colerain. And so I'm available for any questions.
Awesome. I'll open it up. Any questions, Vice President Driehaus?
No, not for this gentleman. I would like to hear from the representative from Colerain Township, though, as well, just to gauge community support.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. We wholeheartedly support retaining Clippard in Colerain, of course. They are a cherished family that has their name on our YMCA, on one of our parks. It is one of our highest priorities to help them on their expansion. And so I think it's good news, given that we're in Hamilton County. We're going to be helping facilitate a relocation of a Butler County facility of theirs into this one new facility, and we're supportive of the rezoning of this property, and we'll do everything that we can to help on this transition and expansion.
Did you have a question?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Dumas, did you have a
comment,
question?
no.
I do want to say that Clippard family, your name, you have done a lot, particularly on the west side, and I grew up at the Clippard YMCA, so I'm very familiar with the name. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Driehaus.
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Thank you, commissioners.
Mr.
Yes.
So while we have Colerain Township, can I ask you a question about Grippos? I mean, I just want to be, I know did we keep them or a portion of them?
They are still there. They were looking to expand in an abandoned Kroger building, and the purchase agreement, they got down to the wire and couldn't finalize some of the contract arrangements, and so they just decided to remain where they are and continue operations where they are, and we're on the cusp of filling that building with another business, retail business at this point, but Grippos is still there.
Okay, Colerain.
Yes, same place.
I'm gonna say right now, keep Grippos.
We are.
Okay. Let us know if it's an issue. We got to keep Grippos.
We'll do everything we have to.
I'm sorry, I had to ask you why. Because people ask me, is Grippos leaving?
No.
So I want to be able to tell them, as your commissioner, Grippos is here. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Ludo.
I could tell there was something else on your mind, so I'm glad. I believe item 3, commissioners, is a resolution authorizing a subrecipient agreement between the Board of Commissioners and Alloy Development. This allocates ARPA funding to Alloy to implement the 4th round of small business assistance grants. The Board of County Commissioners has previously allocated 3 rounds of small business assistance grants through our ARPA funding. This would be our 4th, possibly final, round of small business assistance, and this puts the dollars in the hands of Alloy to administer that particular program. So Assistant Administrator Holly Chrisman is here if there are any specific questions. We provided the board with the terms of the outline of the terms of the program, but certainly happy to answer any questions on it.
Thank you. I would just like Holly to start with how much money we have helped with small businesses
For this agreement or in total?
in total.
Oh, gosh, I think it was, I believe in total, it's been 13.5 million over 3 rounds, both CARES Act and American Rescue Plan.
I just wanted the public to know that what we've done. I'll open it up, Vice President Driehaus.
I just want to thank Alloy for being our partner. It's been a process to hit this one on the head, trying to help the smallest of businesses that are still struggling, many of whom are minority-owned or women-owned businesses. So thanks for the flexibility. It's taken us a while to get this right. The last few rounds have been right on the nail on the head. So really appreciate, Holly, your work on this and your work also over at Ally.
Commissioner Dumas.
We realize the importance of small businesses, and we're putting our money where our mouth is, and so thank you for your work.
I just wanted to add, a lot of times we're moving away from silos and putting things more holistically. And in small businesses, for those who may be watching, like you said, we've done 13.5 million in the grants. But during the grants, it helped us realize that we needed to have a permanent infrastructure. And this board has stepped forward by creating the first ever Office of Small Business through a partnership with Alloy. So now small businesses will have a place to turn to and go to, and we can connect them. We've also done technical assistance. We put, I think, $1 million or so on this technical assistance grant, where people will help you with writing your business plan, connecting you with how to manage your business at no cost to you. We also have a WBE and an MBE program, first ever, and small business program to help you do business with us as a county. That got passed this year, first time in history. And then we have a small business day fair to help connect you with all these things, where we'll have free workshops on how to market your business. Don't even charge you for that. We'll have the grants. You'll be able to talk to somebody about how to apply for the grant and even apply for the grant on site. We'll have the procurement director there to be able to talk one-on-one. What are the type of goods and services that we need, and try to better connect you. So we've got everything from people who are just getting started to people who are trying to expand. And I just want to thank my colleagues because this is a bold step in putting us from an infrastructure place, not just putting the money out there, but to make sure that this is the place. If you want to start your business, you come to Hamilton County. You want to grow your business, you come to Hamilton County. And that's the image that we want to give. And I just want to thank our colleagues for that. And I want to thank the administration, Jeff and Holly, and your whole team for getting this together. So I would recommend passage of by leave number 3.
Second.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Commissioner Driehaus? Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Thank you.
No additional by leaves, commissioners.
Okay. Let's see, now we're going to the regular agenda. And we'll turn it over. Mr. Little, you'll make the introduction. And
Yeah, so for the items 1 through 4 today, to talk more about the youth resiliency grants, we have Sarah Adams, and then that's items 1 through 5, and then 6 through 8 will be Megan Guthrie, who will walk through some of our Office of Addiction Response grants and actions. Ms. Adams.
So items 1 through 4, as Jeff mentioned, are resolutions for the youth resiliency grants. Once all are awarded, we will have 27 organizations awarded, right around $3.9 million. And this is for our youth resiliency programs, ages 9 to 19, for expansion of youth resiliency to combat social isolation due to COVID-19. Item number 1 is a resolution with Clifton Cultural Arts for $55,636. They will expand the Rockets to Robots program with technology that serves around 57 students in grades 3rd through 4th, and they actually work with 5 different CPS schools. Rockets to Robots is an after-school program with hands-on STEM and arts programs. The program will expand from having 5 to 9 sessions annually every year and encourages not only the student, but the parent and family engagement through the program. I can answer any questions for you guys on this program, and I will also ask John Mulething, Development and Marketing Manager, and Leslie Mooney, Executive Director, to join me. That can also further answer any questions on the program.
Thank you. Would you like to say something about your program?
Well, first of all, thank you so much. This was obviously a very important, especially given what we know about mental health and mental health awareness that you all spoke so eloquently about earlier today. A lot of our programs and many of the arts youth-centric programs in the county really focus on building emotional and social emotional awareness and strength. And so that's part of the Rockets to Robots programs as well, and all that we do at the Clifton Cultural Arts Center. So we appreciate this support and this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Drew.
I love the program. When is your new facility going to be complete?
The real question. Hope it's scheduled to be completed by the end of this year, and we should be in spring of 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Dumas. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. I love the program, and I just love the fact that we have expanded arts out of just downtown. And that was kind of the vision. We're on city council. I can't believe you're building a building now. It's like it was pulling teeth back then and said, no, they don't, arts can't work out in the neighborhoods. And now when I see you and I see what they're doing at Kennedy Heights, I mean, it's just amazing. So thank you. This is great. We appreciate it.
Moving on to item number 2, this is a resolution with the Children's Home of Cincinnati, who also does business as better known as Best Point Education and Behavioral Health, for $173,637. The program will be expanding the Bridging the Gap program that serves underserved youth with disabilities and or mental health diagnosis, and at-risk youth. The program will serve a minimum of 200 youth to provide employment opportunities within a defined career path, thus bridging the gap, the name, between graduation and adulthood. The program includes critical supports such as technology, transportation, and work clothes to remove barriers to participation. And I will ask Amanda Timpkemper, Vice President of Education, to come on up, and she can join me and answer any questions as well.
Thank you.
Hi there. Commissioners, thank you so much. I'm Amanda Tipkemper, Vice President of Education and Superintendent of Schools at Best Point Education, formerly the Children's Home in St. Aloysius. We merged last year.
Thank you. Vice President Drew, anything?
Just grateful for your work. Thank you.
Commissioner Dumas?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This Children's Home, now Best Point, they have a tradition many, many years. I had my college internship at Children's Home, so they continue to do great work. So thank you.
Thank you for all of your work, and happy to support this.
Thank you so much. Everything that you've been saying today about small businesses and about graduation and about our youth, about mental health, it speaks to all the work that we do, trying to create a safety net for some of the most vulnerable youth. Employment statistics show that 75% to 90% of youth with a mental health diagnosis or an autism diagnosis are not experiencing employment. We've got to do something about this. We have the skill set to do it. So thank you for your faith in us and your trust in us to turn this around.
Thank you. Impacting 200, that's pretty big. Thank you.
Item number 3 is a resolution with Peasley Neighborhood Incorporated for $197,376. Peasley will be expanding several youth programs such as Agents for Change, Risers and Peasley Kids Summer Camps, writing circles, and the piano program, and more. They will serve a minimum of 100 youth through all these programs. They will be able to accept youth on current wait list, which is great so those kids can actually experience working with Peasley, add field trips, and they will be hiring 2 previous youth mentors who's went through this program previously to promote critical thinking, positive self, and support, and make sure that they have those 2 youth. They will gain employment through this program, but also be a supportive mentor for children that have been in their previous shoes. And I will ask Jennifer Summers, Executive Director, to join me.
Welcome.
Well, thank you so much. I want to just say a couple things about this, and other than thank you. And one is that we write a lot of grants at nonprofits, and sometimes might not be the peg that fits right in. And when the name of this, not just the name, but the priorities around this grant came out around youth resiliency, I was really excited to write because I felt like we were able to really express what we do all the time at an intergenerational center that is not just about what academic level you are at, but how you have a community that sees you, loves you, supports you, and gives you space to build what that classroom's gonna be like. We got to talk about that in this. And that comes from people who come through our community center, not always in formal programmatic ways, but informal ways. One other thing I want to hold up is Miss June Alexander. She was a longtime Peaslee board member, piano student, truth teller. And when we formed Agents of Change back in 2015, she was right there, standing right next to our kids. And she was always in our lobby. And right when this grant was due, we had just lost her because of a lack of health care, because of a lack of housing justice. Those were the heart reasons. But she would sit in our lobby and she would say, with all your imperfections, you're just perfect just how you are right now to whoever walked through, including our kids. And so I carry these, and I'm just gonna give these to y'all. These are some Agents of Change cards from our Agents of Change program. These are Miss June.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
We hold her like that, and so do our kids. So thank you all for giving that support to help Peaslee keep growing.
Thank you. Sorry, that choked me up. Okay, I'm sorry. Where was I? Where are we at? Let me open it up. Vice President Driehaus. I'm sorry, when I saw this, I said, wait a minute, Miss June. I know her. Vice President Driehaus, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I just have one quick question. Now, knowing that you're located in Over the Rhine, can you help us understand from where are the kids coming from? Are they coming primarily from the neighborhood close to Peaslee, or are you drawing from other places as well?
It really does depend on the program. So for our summer camps right now, our summer camp looks about 75 to 80% from the neighborhood. And when I say neighborhood, that's Over the Rhine, Pendleton, West End, Then we will also prioritize kids who participate in our other programs, like our piano program is citywide, because that's been around for 32 years and it's all word of mouth. So when someone gets displaced from Over the Rhine and they move to Westwood or they move to Evanston or there's not necessarily a piano program there and people come back. And so we will prioritize registrations of kids that are in other programs that are school year. So some of those kids come outside of, the immediate walking area, but usually still city of Cincinnati.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you for all you do. I was looking at June, I see we have the same birthday. She's much younger than she had. So I'm sure she had a great impact on the school. So when I saw Peaslee on the list, I was just excited, along with the other groups, but I know Peaslee is very much in need. So thank you so much. Yeah. I'm going to give this to the clerk if I can maybe get one back from somebody down on the end so I can keep it so you have it for the record.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I can say right now. This is shocking to me. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you for your program, and we'll be voting on it after we get done with the end of all of them. Thank you.
Item number 4 is a resolution with Cincinnati Urban Promise for $219,000. They will continue to work the work of their Lifetime of Promise program that serves children from infancy to high school. They're one of the only programs that actually applied with us that actually works with children from infancy all the way through high school. By expanding their summer enrichment program, the program will serve an additional 25 youth with STEM, reading comprehension, and math skills. Youth also participate in cross-curriculum activities such as field trips, nature walks, and swimming. They will renovate classrooms, purchase needed items, along with a bus to combat transportation barriers and to ensure academic success for all the youth that enter their program. And I would like to ask Abe Brandy Berry, Executive Director, to join me to answer any questions and expand on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to thank you guys from everyone at Cincinnati Urban Promise for your support as we continue to expand our programming to include all the way through graduation from high school. With this grant, we are the main portion of it is to support our workforce development programming through STEM and agriculture activities. And because of this grant, we are now in partnership with CPS and Gamble High School and their career pathways with their agriculture at Gamble. They will be participating directly with this expansion from this funding, and we're excited. Really, it's awesome to hear about all the different things that are happening from this and across our city, and we're excited to be a part of that.
Thank you. Vice President Driehaus.
No, I have no questions. Thank you for what you're doing.
Commissioner Dumas?
Just a quick question. We said 25 youth. Portion of the money is going toward a van or something I was about. Is that correct?
Yes, a portion of the funds will be going toward
on the microphone. I'm sorry. YouTube wants to see you and hear you.
Yeah, so a portion is going to be going towards a van for transportation. The transportation needs will obviously impact a lot more youth. The 25 youth will just be able to actually enter the program and do the different STEM activities that in the agriculture activities, but the van is more all-encompassing for transportation concerns.
Thank you so much.
We're actually expecting to, because of the partnership that has happened since then with working with Gamble, we're expecting to be able to serve more around 60 to 70 youth in this program.
One of the things I like, because we've been stressing this is a one-time, once-in-a-lifetime money. But by having a van, we'll know that you're able to continuously help youth beyond. And that's what we've been trying to do with a lot of the programs, to make sure that we put the money in, it can help you continue to help our young people. So that's really good. And I do want to express to those who are watching, I mean, these youth grants are so diverse in terms of, we had culture, arts, urban, forestry, agriculture. We've had athleticism, camps. I mean, we've done a great job of trying to, whatever a young person wants to be involved in positively, we're trying to hit it in terms of their interests. So thank you.
So items 1 through 4 were under our youth grants. My last item is item number 5. This grant will actually fall under our workforce development grants. This will be our last workforce development grant. This will complete all of those grants, and all the funding will be allocated and ready to go. We worked with 9 nonprofit organizations for $1.7 million. This resolution is with Healthcare Access Now for $184,800. Healthcare Access Now will use funds to expand its current community health worker certification program. They will recruit and train 40 individuals from indigenous and Spanish-speaking populations to gain the CHW certification. They will be translating the curriculum into Spanish to better serve and reach an underserved population, and they will help participants once they gain that certification with job placement, and they try to ensure that they have placement where they reside. so they can stay in the communities where they reside. And I would love to have Sarah Mills, Chief Executive Officer, come on up, and she can explain any more on the program and answer any questions.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you all for this opportunity. And I also want to take the opportunity to invite you all to CHW Day on June 6th. Commissioner Dreehouse joined us last year. It was outside and it rained, so we're going to be inside this year. But this opportunity, the work that we do, we really focus on the communities that we're serving. And an important part of what a community health worker does is represent the community they're from. And we recognized both from the community health needs assessment and community health, and that is the community members who don't speak English. So what we really want to do is work to translate the materials into Spanish so that we can train people in Spanish who are also bilingual in other indigenous languages. There's a large part of our community that are missing the resources we have here in Hamilton County, and so that's our purpose with this funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Dreehouse.
Yeah,
Anything?
thank you. Yeah, I look forward to it. Thank you.
Commissioner.
No questions. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
And that will finalize my items 1 through 5 for today.
So I'll make a motion to approve items 1 through 5.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioners. And Megan Guthrie is going to walk us through items 6, 7, and 8.
1 through 5, if you need to leave, we understand. But you want to stay, I mean, it's a lot of fun what we do. Thank you all for being here. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, Commissioners. As County Administrator Aludo alluded to, I have items 6, 7, and 8. These are all related to Office of Addiction Response grants. So these are the contract subaward grants that are coming before you. The first is Resolution 6 for a subaward agreement. This is part of our $733,000 grant that we received from the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, also known as OJJDP. This is in collaboration with the Hamilton County Addiction Response Coalition's Prevention Committee, so Prevention First and UMADOP of Greater Cincinnati. This is particularly for the UMADOP portion to be able to identify at-risk and high-risk youth, to be able to provide school-based prevention and intervention services. So these subaward dollars will pay for an engagement, an outreach coordinator, 2 youth ambassadors to be able to be involved in peer discussions with the youth, as well as things like supplies, marketing, media, and community events. So it's roughly $87,000 over the 3-year project for a total of $262,000 and $800,000. Happy to answer any questions about that item.
Okay, I'll open it up, Vice President Dreehouse.
Just want to thank Megan for bringing these dollars into the county through grants, and also recognize that the partnership between Prevention First and UMADOP is a strong partnership, and they are doing really significant work in the prevention field when it comes to addiction. And so want to just recognize that they are working well together, and it's one of the strongest relationships I've seen in this space. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dumas.
Yes, I just want to say, as it relates to addiction response, the county is just, we realize how important it is. I thank you, Megan, for all that you're doing and your team. And it just shows the importance that we're putting on addiction.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job, Megan, once again. I do want to say I'm very happy that UMADOP is involved. I know we had a press conference there, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago. And I know prior to that, they've said that they wanted to be more connected, more involved. And as Vice President Dreehouse has indicated, their involvement, it has been a strong partnership. So very happy about, I always like to see those type of partnerships. So this is great. Do you want to go through, I was going to have you go through all the items and then I'll call for a vote.
Yeah, that sounds great. Resolution number 7, this is for a partnership with Cordata Healthcare Innovations. This is part of our $2 million SAMHSA grant. This is the Drug Treatment and Recovery Court for Judge Sanders and her team to be able to expand and enhance the work of drug court. This is a 5-year grant This subaward in particular will pay for drug court staff to be able to utilize this software essentially as a workflow management tool for their docket. So all of the court participants that are coming through kind of make us more efficient in terms of the way that we're collecting data, makes it really easy for our evaluation team to be able to pull out those outcomes that we need for grant reporting. And it'll be roughly $25,000 per year for the software, which results in our $125,000 over the 5-year grant.
Vice President Dreehouse.
A very different kind of award here, but very important to make sure we're doing things efficiently and being able to respond to the grant specifications. So thank you.
Commissioner Dumas.
Same comment. I mean, collecting data in a consistent way will be a game changer. Absolutely. So thank you.
They're very excited because they've been by paper, so they're looking forward to it.
I wanted to highlight, I'd be remiss if I would not highlight this partnership that we also have with Judge Sanders. This has been again, showing us working together, breaking down silos and working collectively for one Hamilton County. So I want to also give Judge Sanders, her team, a shout out for working with you, Megan, and our team over here at Hamilton County.
Thank you. And my final item is number 8. This is for an amendment to our current NAFCare contract as the medical provider in the Justice Center. This is part of our $900,000 Bureau of Justice Assistance grant for improving substance use disorder treatment and recovery outcomes for adults in reentry. And this is particularly for our medications for opioid use disorder, so our MOUD induction program to help those that are addicted come into the Justice Center to help them medically detox. So this amendment is for the NAFCare contract to add capacity and have the grant specifically pay for one full-time nurse that will be responsible for the dosing of these inmates that are referred to the program. So this is $100,000 per year over the 3-year grant. So $300,000 in total for this subaward.
Vice President Julia.
Megan, is this one related to the build out of the Justice Center, or is this separate?
So this is separate. So the MOUD program does function, that is its own kind of program, but it will have collaborations with the build out when the time comes, and we'll work with the treatment provider in that so that there's a streamlined process for anyone that is inducted on MOUD and is then eligible for the care pods to be able to make sure that there's that warm handoff there.
Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Dumas.
I was just going to say, Megan, this is a big deal because this is really a new initiative to make sure that the medication for that purpose can now happen. So it's a big deal. Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome. I will make a motion to approve items 6 through 8.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes. Thank you, Megan. Keep bringing the money. No, yes, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Ludo, we've got the consent agenda.
Thank you, Commissioners. Yes, just very briefly here, the consent agenda. Before you, item number 9 are the administrator's actions for the month of March. Item number 10 is a credit card in our communications office to streamline and coordinate most of our electronic subscriptions and electronic services that we use through that office. We have the purchase of a Ford Explorer through the Sheriff's Office for $35,853. Then we have several items related to Job and Family Services. Item number 12 is for 211 care coordinators through the United Way for individuals exploring rental or mortgage assistance. We have 3 separate contracts valued at $2.4 million each for visitation services for families and parents whose children are in foster care or otherwise in out-of-home placement. Then we have, that's items 13, 14, and 15. Item 16 is renewal with Lighthouse Services for group home services at $1.2 million. We have a contract with Lighthouse Youth Services for independent living transition services at $500,000. We have a contract with NECO for foster care services at $5.4 million. And then we have an agreement with the Bear Foundation for foster care services. Of note on those last 4 items, the Lighthouse Youth Services services are located in Cincinnati. The NECO services are located in Cincinnati. The Bear Foundation is located in Columbus, Ohio. And Commissioners, you have already approved item number 20 back with the Planning and Development public hearing for the filing of the annual action plan.
Okay. I'll open it up. Vice President Drew.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to highlight item number 12. This one is an agreement with the United Way to provide assistance through 211. We've been relying on United Way for a number of years now related to mortgage assistance, rent assistance, and really anything that was running through the federal money that we got through the CARES Act and through the American Rescue Plan. So it's been a really great partnership for those that don't have access to computers and need to call somebody on the phone, or rather, maybe they're just more comfortable dealing with someone over the phone. So very, very grateful to United Way for stepping into this space and helping us with this.
Thank you, Commissioner.
No comments.
No comments. I want to piggyback on 12. I think certainly United Way has been an outstanding partner. I know when we did the relief-a-thon, they were able to provide us with a report, so we kind of knew like majority of the calls were coming for this or for that, and maybe we could get a report that could help us. Is it more coming for mortgage? Is it more people calling for rental? They're calling for small business. What are they calling for? And I think that'll help us just to see kind of what the calls are coming in for. And I know they have that data because they have provided it to us before. The other thing is I just wanted to highlight on the media item. I believe that's item number 10. So it's called now the Hamilton County Office of Media and Engagement. I just wanted to make sure, or can we get an update? We had all talked about a rebranding as we look at Franklin County and other places. Hamilton County is a general term, and people think, if it say Hamilton County, they think we're in charge of it. A lot of stuff we're not. But in Hamilton County, they have their logo, and then we're not McDonald's, so we can't just pick up the golden arches and say, oh, everybody knows this. But they have where they have the logo, and then next to it, Board of County Commission. So you know what's the difference. I think that's important. So I know we were working on it. I don't know if we have a timeline, Jeff, regarding that, at least for the ones that says Board of County
We're working
Commission.
on that diligently right now, so we can get you a report and a timeline on next steps, and certainly want to get the board's feedback, because it's ultimately this is going to represent you, right? So we want to make sure that you guys have your feedback into this. So I'll work with Bridget, and we'll get you a report and a timeline.
Yeah, the reason I was asking that is we said a lot of these dollars are one-time dollars and they're going out. And I think it's important for people to know that this board kind of led the charge of the unique things that we're doing to be able to help with the community. We may not have that opportunity, 2 years from now. So as it's going out and as it's being promoted, I just want at least the one that says Board of County Commissioners should be a part of that, so people won't ask, what did the board do with that, with those ARPA dollars? They know it because of the branding that's on it. So I just wanted to highlight that. I make a motion to approve items number 9 through 19.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes. No further business comment? Okay, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.